Hello, my name is Jean. I am a knitter. I had to step away from being a YouTuber and a knitter for a while. A couple of years, you need a break. I did keep knitting. Did a bit of traveling. Before I started on the travel, I was working on my Afghan, which is coming along rather nicely. Let's see. Here we go. And the dark side. This thing is like the Force. It has a dark side, it has a light side, and it holds my brain together sometimes. The traveling was sometimes challenging. I'm not a fan of guided tours unless it's a very small group in some obscure area. My point protector system worked perfectly. I didn't drop a single stitch when I wadded my knitting up and tossed it into a bag to be packed or carried or whatever. Before I left, I tested something. These are spin cables. They're made by Gu. This cable is actually the same length as the cable that I am currently knitting on. The significant difference is that a spin cable allows you to have the needle fixed, but the cable, you can see it, it can twirl around. There is a spinning feature to it. This spinning feature gives you a slightly more aggressive join than other cables because there has to be enough space for the spin function to join, and it can't fit tightly because it has to spin. For me, working on that Afghan, these spin cables are not a win. It is very difficult for me to get the stitches to move across the join from the cable to the needle, and I have to coax each stitch through that jump, across the jump, individually, and a lot of times they really don't want to go. It was difficult. It was not fun. It was something I tested. I am not going to tell you that a spin cable is a fail. There's absolutely nothing wrong with a spin cable, but you have to have the correct application. The project that I am currently working on, that Afghan, does not work with a spin cable. I've tested it, and if you knit at a different tension, it might work for you. I knit fairly tight, and they did not work for this. For something else, they may be the perfect solution. I like perfect solutions. I like to have a choice in my solutions. The next color is going to be this one. It's a little bit darker. Yay. Still the same indie dyer, Neighborhood Fiber Co. And I'm really liking the fabric that I am producing. It's going to be light enough to not overwhelm. It's thick. It has some texture to it. It definitely has some stretch and give to it. The pattern makes me happy. No, it's not going quickly. I've used up almost 4 skeins of yarn. And it's taken well over a month. It'll probably be a year before I finish this one. I may knit a pair of socks now and again. While I was traveling, I did get some sock yarn. Nothing fancy, superwash merino in a solid color. 150 grams for the husband because he's got big feet. And 100 grams for me. Blue and purple, no surprises. Picked it up at a little shop in Firenze, which is where Michelangelo is buried. And see, sock weight, superwash merino, Italian. It wasn't killer expensive. I'm very happy about that. And it's because I've been buying indie dyed yarn for a couple of years that I'd forgotten how modestly priced compared to indie dyed stuff other yarns can be. It was rather reassuring, to be honest, rather reassuring. I've got a project that I like, that's going well. I do not have the pattern memorized, but I have gotten it to a place where I'm not making weird mistakes and I don't have to rip out, because when you're dealing with brioche knit, ripping out is not good. I end up tinking back, and I have learned to check each pattern, repeat again and again. And I use my stitch markers, which have indicated the center, repeat. So I will verify to the middle, make sure that is perfect. Then I don't have to go all the way back to the beginning every time I check back on what I have most recently completed. If I'm not paying attention, I just pick it up and knit brioche. I don't do my increases and decreases. Oops. But because I know this, I know to check back. And to be honest, because you do patterning once across, then you complete the row, then you turn and you work back, and then you work back. It feels like 4 rows, out of which only one has a need to concentrate. And that's actually kind of fun for me because it's interesting enough and it requires brain power, and then I can turn off my brain and just go. But it's brioche, so you don't really want to turn off your brain because then you'll do something weird like knit 2 stitches in a row instead of knit 1, slip 1. But I get there. So I've got socks to knit. I've got an Afghan to knit. I'm continuing to knit. And I hope you also keep knitting.